Hey everybody, so just want to do a quick video on why empaths attract abuse. As all of you should know by now, and if you're into listening about narcissism and narcissistic family dynamics, this is one of the crappiest things that happens to us, that we attract basically abuse in all types of environments. That could be within the family, that could be even outside the family, say in university colleges, in high schools. Doesn't matter where we go, but we always seem to attract that negative attention and behavior. So I'm going to talk about the why of why this happens to us. Okay, so basically humans, we're almost like tribes people. Okay, we used to be in tribes. Okay, within that tribe, obviously there's an alpha. Okay, there's an alpha woman, alpha man, and then there's the subordinates, and then after that, there's kind of like you could say they're outsiders. Okay, I think that what's happened to us is because of our upbringing, we show very, very subconscious behaviors that a lot of people would deem weak. Okay, this might be we need validation. So say it's very, very subtle, but I think that empaths do this subconsciously, which attracts a lot of negative attention. Okay, so going back to why I was talking about the tribes. So within the tribe, obviously there's been that dynamic that's set up. Okay, the behaviors, especially when you first are set in an environment, those subconscious behaviors that everyone exhibits are very, very important in establishing a dynamic. Okay, so as I said before, empaths, we show a lot of, you could say, we need a lot of validation in what we're doing a lot of times. There might also be this kind of some people might deem that as weakness when we crave for that validation or even connection. I think that a lot of empaths want to connect with people at a very soul level, but a lot of people in the world, I would say right now, they are only there to do one thing, and that's to gain control, gain popularity, fame. That's a lot of people's main agendas. But for empaths, I think that all we want really, when it comes down to it, is a genuine connection, because that's what we lacked when we were growing up and when we were young. So yes, I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of those subconscious behaviors. So those subconscious behaviors that empaths show could be agreeableness, I found. It could be kind of like they don't have boundaries. So we don't show too much boundaries when someone kind of ups on us. I'm not describing this the best, guys, but we won't show our boundaries. We won't say no. We kind of let it go for the sake of not causing strife. I think a lot of times. I think that when you've actually worked on yourself and you've read a lot about narcissism and empathy and those dynamics, you kind of become ultra aware, and then you can kind of flip those behaviors. So in my circumstance, I would call myself a super empath. And I'm not saying I'm like Superman or anything like that, guys. I'm not praising myself. But the fact is, I am an empath deep down inside. But I've realized that this is not the best, you could say, way to go about things in life, being an empath all the time. So I can demonstrate, putting up boundaries, authoritativeness, those behaviors that aren't really deemed as weak to some people. In terms of how we attract abuse, it's those behaviors that I was talking about. So agreeableness, weakness, unable to set boundaries, want too much want for emotional support or validation. Guys, I think those are the behaviors there. I'm trying to think of more, but I can't really think of anything. I have found, because I'm by trade, I do some sort of coaching with people, and I have found a lot of times adults who are older than me will almost act like children a lot of times. This is just another one I'm going to say. So in the way they act as children, it's the way they relate to me as a coach. I found that talking to them is as if I'm talking to a 10-year-old. in some aspects. I'm not saying this to degrade anyone or anything like that. This is just what I've observed. So I think the way that they relate to people is kind of, it's not in an adult way. It's more like a kid would relate to another kid, through playing or through similarities, that kind of thing. I'm not wording this the best, guys. I'm sorry about that. But look, that's the end of the video, okay? I hope you gained some insight into this matter as to why empaths attract a lot of abuse throughout their life, okay? I'll see you later in the next video. Cheers for now.